perpetually.
Right, and his anger did tear perpetually. So the Lord is always going to be mindful of that.
And he kept his wrath forever.
And he kept his wrath forever. So as they say, well, we gotta forget, we gotta live on and try to undo the wrongs that we've done. No, there's no undoing the wrongs. You don't have that power, Esau, to undo any wrongs you've done. The Lord has that power to pick and choose whether you are mercy or not. And the Lord is not going to mercify you. The Lord is going to ordain you, as I use the term ordain. He's already preordained you that you're going to do all of this stuff and show an example of wickedness, so that we can put hands on you later on, and we can put them belts on your ass later on. All right, what is it? You know, the lasher that they use against us. And we're gonna show them what it is, man. That's just how it's gonna have to go down. Like there's no, there's none of that nonsense, man.
Like in what's that movie, man? The fucking slave movie, the old one.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby, that one.
You're talking about
Kente.
What's your name?
What's your name, boy? What's your name, boy? You know, and he was saying his the name that was given to him. And then eventually he gave it and said, Toby, man, but we're going to do the same thing to you in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because you're not fucking white, man.
Right.
Okay, white is righteousness and purity, man. You're going to learn that that's the first thing, man. You're an Edomite, okay? And you're going to accept that fact. They're an Edomite. And as the elder was saying, you've had your time, but it was preordained that after you've done your fuckery on the earth, you're going to pay for it, man. We're going to whip it into you daily who you are, that you're the damn devil, man.
And that you're an Edomite. The same way the same way they whipped our nationality out of us, we gonna whip it back into them, because they don't want to be recognized that they're the Edomites. If you go on Google, you type "who are they today," they're gonna give you the runaround, man. You're gonna be going over here, but not directly to who it is.
Right.
Go on, brother.
I've finished with that.
Yeah,
you wanted 2nd Ezra 5.
Yeah.
So I'll just go to the point. 2nd Ezra 5 and 24. And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen the one pit.
So all of the lands above the whole world, in other words, the earth, he has chosen what? One pit.
And of all the flowers,
which is Jordan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Jordan. Yeah, can't.
Go on.
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily. And of all the depth of the sea, thou hast filled the one river.
Right.
And
the River Jordan.
River Jordan, the land, the pit is Israel.
Go on,
And all the builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself.
Right, thou hast hallowed Zion all to thyself. All of the cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself. In other words, the people that he gave the commandments and statutes to, which we are the descendants of those people. Now, those 1948ers in the land of Israel today, they're not the people. They're fraudsters, man, and they know they're fraudsters. Go on, brother. So I'm not saying anything condescending. They know they're fraudsters. Go on, brother.
And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named the one dove.
Right.
And of all the cattle they are made, hast provided the one sheep. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten the one people.
Right. After all of the multitudes of the people, thou hast gotten the one people. So who did he beget? He begot us. Not because we were greater, but because we were the least of all nations. That's in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter. But because we were the least, that didn't make no difference with the Lord. The Lord still chose his creation, which is us, because we look the best of all of his creation, probably. All right, we had probably a decent spirit. We had a spirit that he can, recognize, that he can somewhat take a like to. So he chose us, what it is. Go on, brother. You cannot give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest the law that is approved of all.
Right, so that's telling you right there. Who was given the law? The law was given to the nation of Israel. Simply point blank in the story. That's just basic. Now, a simpleton may say, well, yeah, the Israelites was given the law to show the world. Yeah, you're right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the world is going to be as blessed as we are, though. Because we're going to be blessed on a whole different level. And these other nations, they're going to be blessed through us. But we're not going to all be blessed on the same level. They're going to still be tributaries under us while we get done kicking them upside the ass, and after they get done building our cities up. All right? And I'm talking about all of these different other nations. the sons of men, so to speak, but the sons of the wicked one, even though the kingdom is already set up, we still gonna kick their fucking asses, man. For 1,000 years, and after the 1,000 years, we're gonna get rid of them. That's in the book of Obadiah 1 verse 18. And you can read that vocab alone, if you haven't already.
This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto Lord Yahawah Yahawashi. Thy power, Lord Yahawah Yahawashi, have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right, so it's in the Bible that the Lord has a chosen special people. Now you've read the Old Testament, but that also applies in the New Testament. Because who did the Lord die for? The Lord died for the nation of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians, as well as the Lord was. He was a so-called black man that went on the cross. So if he died for our sins, then when he comes back, who is he coming to gather? Is he coming to gather the people he didn't die for as well? No, he's coming to save the people who he has died for, and that the Lord has given the covenants and the promises to. It's just that simple. But I understand, because some people don't really want to accept that reality. But that's the reality, whether you want to accept it, believe it or not. Like I could say, well, the sky is purple, or the sky is green, but in the reality it's blue. Okay? I can make up whatever I want to make up in my head because I don't want to accept reality.
Right. Like, no. That's why the scripture says, I shall send them strong delusions that they shall believe a lie.
That's a very good scripture.
Thessalonians.
That's a very good point.
Thessalonians.
Going on.
What was I on? Deuteronomy, you still wanted?
Yeah, 7 and 6. There's a point, and then I'm going to give it to you, brother. I'm going to let you get it in.
So we're on Deuteronomy 7 and 6. The Lord Yahawah Yahawashi have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord Yahawashi did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you are more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people.
Right.
But because the Lord Yahawashi loved you.
So we were the fewest of all people. We weren't the greatest of all people. See, the Lord looks at everything differently. See, the way we look at things, we look at something big as great. And we're we fantasize in these things, you know. But the Lord looks at the smaller things, and he looks at that like, yeah, I want that instead. You know? That's what he did. He looked at the least of his people that he created, and he chose them. Because they had a certain look to them that the other nations didn't have. Go on, brother. And he took a liking to his creation. The least of his creation. Go on.
And where was that? 7. He did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you are more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord Yahawashi loved you, and because he would keep the oath.
Right, and that you would keep the oath. Go on.
Which he had sworn unto your fathers. Have the Lord Yahawashi brought you out with a mighty hand.
Okay.
And redeemed you out of the house of bondmen.
And that's what he's going to do on this side. He's going to redeem us from out of the hands of the mighty, the now that is the so-called white man. Because the mighty were the people of Mizraim, which were one of the sons of Ham. And they were ruling over the children of Israel. And they were serving with, a hard, vigorous way of captivity they were under. So in the book of Jeremiah 16 and 14, if you can, brother, give me that. And then I'm going to give it to this brother here. And let him get his shit off his chest. You know, and that's how we going to roll in the spirit, man. Cut.
All right, Jeremiah, what was it, 14 and 16 you wanted?
Yeah, 16 and 14.
This is Jeremiah 16 and 14. And it says, Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahawashi. It shall be no more said, The Lord Yahawashi liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord Yahawashi liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. And from all the lands whither ye have driven them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be the new thing on the face of the earth, is that the Lord delivered the sons of God from all of the corners of the earth, which they were scattered in, rather than us remembering that we were delivered out of Egypt. That's going to be dead and gone. We're going to be celebrating our deliverance on how we were delivered out of the most meanest and most degradable miscreants off the face of the earth.
I got a precept to that one.
Go on, brother.
Joshua
Joshua 5, let me take off. Joshua 5 and 5 says, and it came to pass when all the kings of the Amorites which were on the side of the Jordan,
Which the Amorites had been Hamites. Go on.
westward, and all of the kings of the Canaanites which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel,
Go on. I know where this is going.
until we were passed over, that their heart melted.
Go on.
Neither was the spirit in them anymore because of the children of Israel.
Exactly. So you see how we were famous
Another deliverance. Yeah.
based on the deliverance of ancient Egypt. So how much more when the Lord delivers us from the four winds? We're gonna be famous all around the world. Every soul on the earth is gonna know, okay, these are the people of God, because on how they were miraculously delivered. You know? So that's what we're gonna celebrate. All that Egyptian shit that we had to deal with, that's gonna be dead and gone. What's gonna be the new thing on the map is the remembrance of how we were delivered. And that's how we're gonna remain to be a monumental people. And shall we be what? Zion, which means that, a monumental people. That's all I have to say. You got it, brother. Everybody's afraid of the middle.
If you hold 1 Corinthians 10 from Hasham, and then 1 Corinthians 10, just following on from what the elder was talking about.
So this is 1 Corinthians 10.
Yeah.
Now I beseech you, brethren, that you speak all the same thing.
No, so like that.
Give us the rap.
How does it go?
1 Corinthians 10, that we were all baptized under the cloud with Moses.
I don't know what that said.
1 Corinthians,
Oh, 10 chapter.
chapter 10, yes. Oh, chapter 10, yeah, from the top. Yeah, man, because there's the different covenants, man. You know, like the Apostle of Gabar was getting into, right? A covenant basically means an agreement, man. You know, and did the Lord make agreements with other nations? Yeah. You know, did the Lord make agreements with other men? Yeah. You know, but the agreement unto salvation and to being unto himself was only given to Israel, man.
God.
You know? But let's get into it.
Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 10th chapter. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the clouds, and all passed through the sea. Verse 2, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud.
Yeah, because when, following on from, you know, what was just being spoken about, when we were delivered out of Egypt, right, Mitzrayim, Martazayim, the land of our bitter bondage, the chariot was above us, man. You know, and in the chariot was Yahawashi, right? And he was basically leading us out by the hand of his servant Moses, man. You know, so when the sea split and we were walking through, that was our baptism, man. You know, and it says unto Moses, go on.
Unto Moses in the clouds and in the sea.
Yeah.
And did all eat that same spiritual meat? And did all drink the same spiritual drink?
Yeah.
And they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was Mashiach.
You see, so it was actually Yahawashi, which was in that chariot, which is us. We were baptized unto him via Moses, man. When we went through that sea, and we had just come out of bitter bondage, man. You know. Now a great multitude left Egypt with us, but it was unto salvation. It was only for the nation of Israel, man. Okay, you know. Now hold. That's good, but hold. Go from there to Genesis chapter 17. Biblical show. Let me see what verse is at. Yeah, start from verse 19, Genesis 17 and 19. Because you got dangerous guys out there, man, like Vocab and the like, that, you know, be pushing that replacement theology, man.
Oh,
you know,
that's a dangerous thing right
You know,
there.
wherever it says Israel in the scriptures, you know, it's talking about, you know, anyone that believes.
Con.
No, it doesn't mean that, man.
And you know what too, brother, if I can add to what you're saying, and what he's basically doing when he's pretty much conveying that bullshit that he's conveying is he's actually entering into the realms of being an anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitism. So that's a very dangerous ground to trot on, man.
Can't.
With that replacement theology, I won't want to, tread on them grounds. Because they could just based over that, they could have took his channel down. YouTube could have just shut his shit down.
Yeah.
Just based on that. Because who runs YouTube? The so-called Jews, the Scumalakites, I call them.
That's true, man. Go on, man.
This is Genesis 17 and 19. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son. Indeed, it's like the powers, isn't it? The power.
No, let me see what.
This is, and God said.
No, that's the most. No, that's the most. It's the most high.
And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful.
Yeah, so there you go. The Lord, the way his name was given was like, yeah, I hear you, but you're on the side, man. I'll give you a little blessing, and that's it. But I ain't really dealing with you, man. Because that's what that's what Ishmael means. Yasha my Allah, the Most High has heard. So it's like, okay, he's your son, fair enough. He'll get a blessing, all right. But as for the covenant, as for the agreement, it's coming through Isaac, man. That's why them so-called Arabs to this day, why do you think they're living like that? It's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's their blessing, man. He said, I'll bless him. All right, I've heard what you had to say about Ishmael. I'll give him a blessing. But as for the covenant, it's not with them, man. That's why even them top imams over there, man, they know. They know that, they say Allah was dealing with the Jews originally, and their scholars know that it's even us, man.
And you know why as well? You know why Ishmael was named? The reason why his son was named Ishmael because Hagar was crying.
Yeah.
She was afflicted. It's in Genesis 60. I might as well just read it.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah, this is it says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord Yahawah said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because of the Lord have heard thine afflictions. You got it, brother.
So the Lord heard the cry of Hagar, and basically he opened up her womb and gave her a son. So indeed the power, the Most High did hear, man, and gave her that man-child, man. But that doesn't mean that's now the people or who came from Ishmael, those people. Doesn't mean that's who the Lord is now dealing with. Go on, man.
Crow.
You all right?
You look lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
And as for Ishmael, and I've heard thee, behold, I bless him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
That's spiritual because they came around.
Yeah.
And the crow came around.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And it was watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the message on today.
Bad omen.
Read them couple of verses again.
Let me just a minute. Verse 20, as for Ishmael,
See, there you go, the crow goes.
I've heard thee. Alright, that's spiritual. I've heard thee, behold, I bless him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly.
Yeah.
12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
So that's them Arab nations, man. That's why they what do you call it? They're so great, man, over there, man.
So much that they call themselves the Shahs and shit.
Go on.
And I will make him a great nation, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him. And the Most High went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as the Most High had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old, and 9, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day.
Young man.
Yeah, so yeah, Ishmael was he just turned a man, really.
And in the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, born in his house, and bought with money of the stranger was circumcised with him. Chapter 18. And the Lord Yahawashi appeared unto him in the plains of Mamah. And he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked. And lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. And said, My Lord, if now I have found favour in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
Keep going. That's getting something else, but it's good. Go on, keep going.
Let a little water, I pray thee, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree, and I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the earth. And Abraham ran unto the herds, and fetched a calf tender, and good, and gave it unto a young man. And he hastened to dress it, and he took butter, and milk, and calf, which he had dressed, and set it before him. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, and were stricken in age. And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure?
And these 3 men that came in, and Abraham was going in, preparing the meal. They were angels, man. Go on, keep reading.
My Lord, being old also, and the Lord Yahawah said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I also surely bear a child, which I am old? Is there anything too hard for the Lord Yahawashi at that time appointed? I will return unto thee according to the time of life. At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. When Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom. This is going into something else.
Yeah, so basically that's why the name was Isaac. Yahtazak, which means laughter, man. You know, because basically they were old couple.
Yeah.
And they still brought forth a son, man.
She was 99. Sarah was 99.
Man.
Yeah.
So the Lord, still had them have Isaac, man. Because the Lord was all setting it up where the sons were being born, the different nations would come into play from those men, but then through Isaac and his sons would be the nation of which the Lord was dealing with, man. Since we're around this area, go to Genesis 49, and it's going to tell you of the characteristics of what would of the 12 sons that would come, from that line on, man.
Yep.
This is Genesis 49. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Verse 2, Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, and excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power.
Yeah, because you got the sign. You got people talking about the 12 tribes, but then don't even know where they came from, man. This is the breakdown of it, man. Alright.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou went up to thy father's bed, then thou defiled it.
Read that again. So let's break it down, see, because this is why you got to bring it out. Go on.
Start at 3.
Yeah.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn,
Go on.
my might, and the beginning of my strength, and the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
Yeah, that's
You know?
why them Reubenites, man, they're very like, you know, they're very spirited, man. You know,
They're
unstable.
very spirited people.
Yeah, unstable as water, man. You know, they got a very invigorated spirit about them. Go on.
Reuben.
Where's that? Unstable as water. That's why Reuben needs counselors.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not excel. Thou shalt not excel, because thou went up to thy father's bed. Then the father saw it. He went up to my couch. Shall I go on verse 5?
Yeah, keep going. Go for
Simeon and Levi, our brethren, instruments of cruelty, are in their habitations.
Yeah, man, because they went left with that spiritual power and started dealing with judgment. You know, that's them instruments of cruelty. Go on.
And you know what too? There's actually a twofold to that scripture. Because the first fold is when what happened with Dinah.
Oh yeah.
That situation. So
yeah.
that's where that comes into it. But that it also involves, you know, as what you were saying. You know, they went left side with. Yeah.
Verse 6, O my soul, come not thou into their secrets, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Verse 7, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Judah.
That's why Levi don't have a lamb portion, because that's where the priesthood would come from, man. So they were in all the lands of the other tribes, man. You know, and they would eat the best of the fatness of whatever land they were in, man. You know.
And it was even in suburbs among the tribes.
Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
And guess what? This is prophecy, man. You know, because as much as it was the setting up of how their characteristics would be and what's to come, it breaks down what's to come, which is prophecy, Zalakia. You know? So all these things are coming to pass, man. Alright? Because the hand of Judah is going to be in the neck of his enemy, man. Alright? Best believe that's about to happen. You know? Got something.
I got a bit. If you ain't got no more, I'll let you finish. 'Cause I got a little bit on them.
There's a lot more on that, but if you
Can't. I'll just bring out one and two. This is a lot, but I'll just bring out one and two pieces because it's coincides with what you're saying. First Chronicles 12 and 21 says, and they helped David against the band of the rovers, for they were all mighty men of valor and were captains in the host. Jump down to 28. And Zedek, a young man mighty of valor, and all his father's house 20 and 2. I'm missing some, but just get straight to the point. And of Zabulon 32. And of Zabulon such as went forth as battle experts in war with all instruments of war, 50,000 which keep rank. They were not of double heart. 35. And the Danites experts in war, 20 and 8,600. Last one. And of the other side of the Judah of the Reubenites and the Gadites and of the half tribe of Manasseh, with all manner of instruments of war for battle, and 120,000.
That's funny because me and his brother was talking about
one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, man. All the men of war.
You know, straight warriors, man. You know, it's gonna say that. That's the spirit. It's gonna say that later on in this chapter. I'll continue. Yeah, get going.
Verse 9, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up, and he stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Yeah, because Judah's the head tribe, man. Yahawah. You know, the rest of the tribes really get their vibe from Judah, man. Like, that's the ultimate source, man. You know, if you really want to be honest about it, man. You know, like Benjamin get their tribe. Every tribe, man. It all goes back to Judah, man. That's where it's at, man. That's the head tribe. That's just the way it is. You know. Go on. That's where the tribe our Lord is from, man. You know. Go on.
Verse 10, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor lawgiver from between his feet
Yeah.
until Shiloh come.
And Shiloh's who? Shiloh is Yahawashi, man. Okay, the man of peace, because a rulership, a good sign of a son of a good kingdom is a kingdom in peace. All right, and it says the scepter. The scepter is what? The thing that a king would hold, man. So until Shiloh comes, meaning until Yahawashi comes back and takes this man out of power and sets up a rulership of peace, all right, the kingdom of heaven upon the earth, the scepter's not going to depart, man. And even then, in the kingdom, the scepter will be with Judah, man. All right, because how many kings you going to have? Well, the elect are all going to be kings. We're going to have two main kings. The first king you're going to have is Yahawashi, all right. This is excluding the. Of course, you're going to have the Mosai. Then
I
under
know
the
you're
Mosai,
going with what you about to say.
under the Mosai, you're going to have Yahawashi. All right. Then under Yahawashi, you're going to have King David. All right. Which are Judites, man. You know, so the scepter will never depart from Judah. Okay. Go on.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Yeah.
Verse 11, binding his fowl unto the vine, his arse's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Then how's the Lord going to do that, man? Let's get them precepts on.
Isaiah 63, I believe it is, Bozrah.
Yeah, hold that. Don't lose Genesis.
Still got that.
Yeah.
And you can also get Ezekiel 35 too.
So guess what? All the way back in Genesis, it was prophesied that the Lord is gonna come and destroy the wicked, man. You know. See, the Bible adds up, man. You know, oh, God changed. You know, he was a merciless God in the Old Testament, as if like when the last book in the Old Testament, right? Oh, God just, you know what, I'm gonna change now. Everything I've done before, forget that, and I'm just gonna be this nice, loving person who loves everybody, and you can do what the hell you wanna do. Once I'm God, I've got you. Nah, man, it's the same power, man.
And everything's all gravy.
You know.
I got Isaiah 63.
God.
Isaiah 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel.
No, but replacement theology. So if an Edomite says, you know what, I now we're in the age of identification, man. You know, I'm a man, but I can, if I want to, I can identify as a fucking woman. You know. So in the age of identification, what happens to God is all love then? Right. An Edomite can say, you know what, I identify as spiritual Israel. Because that's all what replacement theology is. You know. Anybody, wherever it says Israel, now it means everybody that believes. You know? Nah, man. So if that's the case, why is Yahawashi coming with his garments dyed from Bozrah then?
But did the Bible say that though?
See, the Bible don't talk about that. You know, that's man-made, man. You know, the Bible is very much for separatism. Okay, for these are the people I like, these people I don't like. You know, go on.
Traveling in the greatness of his strength.
For you as well.
I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me.
And this is figurative, because when Yahawashi comes back, he's not actually going to have like face-to-face contact with them. He's coming in his angelic force, man. So his garment is not actually going to have blood of, these devils on him. But he's talking about the death and the bloodshed that's going to happen, that the Lord will cause from the chariots, man.
Yep.
You know. Hold on 1 second, I believe.
Yeah. Malachi, I got Malachi 3 verse 6. It says, "For I am the Lord," like what you were saying about the Lord changing.
Oh, God.
"For I am the Lord Yahawah, I change not, and therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed."
Exactly, man. Because the Lord changes not, and it says, "Therefore ye sons of Jacob